Well, on Renegade, I had to do most of them because there wasn't a budget for a big stunt team, and they couldn't keep bringing in a stunt double for me all the time. It got to be very expensive, and you know, the fight choreography that I did for the show, I really had to do it myself because there wasn't a lot of martial arts choreographers around, and they didn't want to hire one. I think Jackie Chan was busy doing movies, so you know, I ended up doing it, you know, and just having to do my own stunts just because I was the only one that knew where I wanted to put the camera and where I needed to frame the shot and how much coverage we needed for a certain amount of fighting. So and I liked it, you know, I mean, and the fact that we were shooting in San Diego and out of Los Angeles also gave the production company a lot of leeway in terms of, you know, kind of going rogue, you know, and
right.
doing what we feel like instead of doing always what the union demands. So it was a great experience. But I hit the ground a lot, and over the years it's proven to be hard on my body.
Do you know if they play reruns of that show at all? Because I've not seen any, and I wouldn't mind. I mean, I love watching old shows, and I wouldn't mind seeing that one run.
Yeah, for some reason, they have just not, you know, USA, I think, still owns Warner Brothers owns the show now, but they have released the 5-season DVD. And that's, okay. I think, that's the only place you can see the shows is if you get the DVDs. They have a season 1 and 2 as a set, and then they have season 1 through 5.
Okay. Well, that's good to know because I absolutely loved that show. I really did. I mean, what's better than looking at a gorgeous guy on a bike fighting off the bad guys, you know?
Well, you know, that show was a modern day Western because the plot was very simple, and you know, you got introduced to the villain, you know, during the opening credits, and
right.
The first act was basically, you know, having our hero, confront the villain the first time. The villain gets away. Then the second act was all about how we're going to bring the villain to justice, and it was just a very simple, you know, framework. But it worked because it was just what people wanted to see back, you know, in the 90s. I mean, they just wanted to see bad guys just get theirs, you know.
Yeah, that's always the best part.
I got to say, I've got to admit this, and I can't believe I'm admitting this on a recording, but I missed getting to see this show. That sounds really fantastic. So I think I'm going to go try to find it. I actually work at a place called Movie Stop where we sell used and new DVDs. So I'm going to go find it, and I'm going to watch it because this sounds like a really good show. And I'm sorry I didn't get the chance to watch it before, but I think it was because I was just in high school at the time and just wasn't paying attention to some shows.
Yeah, no, she's a youngin'.
You had chemistry finals to prepare for, and you know you got that, you know, all those math courses. God forbid. Oh.
Well, thank you for understanding. Really.
No, I completely do. I have 3 teenage daughters now, so I mean they barely have time to sneeze.
Right. I know there's so much homework. Mhm. Yeah, I once in a while think, my gosh, there's so much homework. How will they ever get it done? Because I've seen my kids sit at the table and, you know, for 2-3 hours a night and doing all kinds of homework. And they don't give it on the weekend like they used to when I went to school, and I always thought that was better because it spreads it out a little bit more.
No, they're basically at school from 8 in the morning to like 10 at night. It's just
right.
It's really, really hard. And a couple of my girls, you know, really struggled with that. My 16-year-old, well, she's 15 and a half, but she'll be 16 soon. Anyway, she really struggled in seventh grade, and then something clicked in 8th grade. She figured out how to study. I guess it's just organizing your time and and how much you're going to spend on each subject, and also not waiting until the night before the test to study.
Right.
You get the material out a couple of days prior to the test, and then you're more familiar. So I mean, I think that was a big thing for her. So in high school now, I mean,
for a lot of them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she finished her freshman year, and she was like, a B+, A- student this year, which was awesome. In high school, It's not easy.
No, absolutely not.
She kind of figured out how to manage her time, and I think that's a big thing.
It is, because most teenagers are not organized. We all know that, and that's why as parents we have to try to teach them that, and some get it and some don't. So, you can only do your best. But when they do get it, what a reward that is.
It's great, and I always encourage her and keep her motivated. I bribe her, but anyway, that's the
yeah.
Whatever takes, right?
works. Now, I was wondering too, when you mentioned that you went to a military school, what did you take away from being in there?
I think discipline. If it was to pick one word, it would be, the discipline that I was able to apply in my acting,
mm-hmm.
which is kind of what we're talking about. I mean, managing your time efficiently so that you're not on the set and not know your lines,
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It takes me a long time to memorize. It doesn't come easy. It never has. So I need to really work with the script, over and over and over and over again. That takes time. So using what I learned in military school, which was managing time, and also developing responsibility, and not passing the blame off to the guy that's standing next to you. I mean, it's
right.
You got to own your stuff, and I think that was I took a great deal of pride in finishing that school, graduating that school, because I did need it. I didn't know I needed it at the time. I thought it was
right.
like I'd gone to sleep and woken up in the worst nightmare you could ever have.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm coming from sunny Southern California, where I basically went to the beach after school every day, and I'm in New Jersey now, where the sun goes down at 4:00 in the afternoon, and it's freezing out, and I'm marching with a rifle. I felt like it was, in Hogan's Heroes, I was like marching around with a rifle, freezing my ass off, and I couldn't figure out why, but I figured that out after.
And then you ran right back to California so you could be back to the sunshine and beach, right?
Oh, you bet. Yeah, that actually got me through a lot of cold winters, just the thought of coming back out here.
Yeah, I can imagine. Growing up in Chicago, I know exactly what the weather is like in New Jersey. So someday I'll move where it's going to be warm all year round. And I keep hearing about San Diego, that their weather stays pretty much the same all year round. And that sounds like a dream to me.
It is. You would love it.
Oh, how has the industry changed since you started?
Oh, boy, so many ways, both dramatic and subtle. I think the most dramatic difference is that everybody now can have a show. All you have to do is, be filmed with a cell phone, and have it posted on YouTube, and you too can be a star. I think that's the most dramatic change in the industry, and how the producers have figured out how to market that for very little money. I mean,
right.
Reality television costs, a quarter of what it would cost to develop and produce a scripted show. And that's why we have so much of it. So that's changed the business. I think another significant change would be the venues, the networks and places you can go to get programming. You know, I mean, I think I have 1,000 channels on my satellite. It's crazy.
I know, right?
So you have all these channels, all this capability, and shows are just fighting for their audience. You know, I mean, we're splitting up the pie in so many little tiny pieces that it's just hard for a show to stay on the air. Period. You know.
That's true.
Tough.
A lot of them get canceled rather quickly. I mean, after a couple episodes, they dump them because the viewership wasn't there.
Very difficult to sustain any kind of career, either as a producer, actor, writer, director. It's just very, very tough. This business is very hard now. Very difficult.
I can imagine.
I would not wish this business on any young person coming up now. It's just really, really tough, because not only is it difficult to get a role and keep a role, and keep a show and keep working, but there's so many good actors and actresses now. Right. I mean, I was talking to my wife about this the other day. You know, she's just starting out as an actress. She has a passion that you have to have. I mean, it's all she wants to do is act. I mean, and act in front of a camera. She doesn't want to go to New York to do theater. She wants to act in front of a camera. She wants to be a film actress, and she has the passion. But, you know, and she's a good-looking woman, but that's not enough. You know, when I started in the business, okay, you could just have a good pair of teeth, you know. Well, you have to have more than two teeth, but a good set of teeth and good hair, you know. And if you didn't, you know, if you didn't trip and fall on your mark and could put two words together, you'd have a shot.
Right.
I mean, you would actually have a chance at being successful. But boy, you have to have teeth, hair, good looks, and talent now. You know.
This is true.
Very, very tough. Yeah. So I'd say that's the most dramatic change.
Well, tell your wife to break a leg. I always feel guilty saying that, but I know that's what you guys say. So I wish her only the best.
You know, she has my complete support. Do you know where that saying "break a leg" comes from?
No, I don't. Where did it come from?
Well, it's from the theater, and it was first uttered by an understudy to one of the principal actors in the play. And as the principal actor was walking out onto the stage to open the show, the stand-in, or you know, the understudy, said to the actor, "Break a leg." Because if that actor broke a leg, then that stand-in or understudy would finally get a chance to be on the show, you know, in the play. So that's where it comes from. So
it was not a good thing.
No, the first person who said it really meant it. But it just took on a life, you know, over the years. I just think that's a funny story, you know.
It is, and thank you so much for letting us know. My gosh, that is. Now, with reality shows, of course, you did one, but there's one thing that stands out to me, and that is what made you decide to have a mini facelift on TV? I mean, first of all, I'm being truly honest here. I don't think you needed one at all.
Well, thanks, but, you know, who thinks that the other person needs one?
Well, I know, but I didn't think you did.
Well, that's very nice of you. But my point is that we all kind of look at our own faces every day we wake up, and you know, there are things that you know, I saw that I didn't want to get worse, you know. It's not that I was horrified, but I saw things that perhaps I could kind of arrest, you know, little changes that I could stop happening at least for a while. And that's why people get, you know, cosmetic surgery. It's basically